Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive with us.
Always excited to get going.
So, today we're going to take a look at a word that seems pretty simple, right? Above.
Above here.
But I think you'll be surprised by how much there is to uncover here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those words you use every day without really, thinking about it.
Exactly.
But once you start digging, it opens up all these fascinating connections to like how we understand the world, like literally and figuratively, like
Yeah.
how we think about space, how we organize our societies.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot to unpack with just this one little word, above.
Okay, so to start off, I guess the most basic definition of above, it's an adjective,
You're
right?
right.
Something is higher than something else.
Exactly.
So like the stars twinkled above the city.
Perfect example.
See, like even just in that sentence, I mean, it seems so simple,
Right.
but there's already like a sense of wonder there. Like
Yeah.
the stars they're not just higher, they're kind of magical because they're above.
Totally. And it also sort of implies a separation, right?
Uh-huh.
Like there's this clear distinction between the city down here and the stars way up there.
I like that.
Yep.
And it can also refer to like something earlier in a text, right? So
Yeah.
like the paragraph above explains this concept. So
Yeah.
it's not just about physical space.
Exactly. And that's a key point.
Right.
It's starting to move beyond just a simple location.
Yeah. And then you have examples like her skills were above average.
Right.
And now it's not even about space anymore. It's about like exceeding a standard.
Absolutely. And that really gets to the heart of how above has evolved over time.
Hmm. So how did above get to be such a versatile word?
Well, it all starts with its roots, like way back in Old English.
Okay.
The word was abufan.
Babufran.
Yeah. And it meant, basically on top
Hmm.
of, really straightforward. But over time, like over centuries, that physical meaning started to broaden.
So it went from the apple is above the table
Yeah.
to like
To like above and beyond the call of duty.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big leap, huh?
It is. And I think it reflects how language it has this way of stretching to express more complex ideas,
Yeah,
right? Like we needed a way to talk about not just physical height, but also things like status or surpassing expectations.
right.
And above it was the perfect word to take on those new meanings.
I think that's really fascinating.
One thing I find really interesting about above though is that it doesn't actually have a direct noun form.
That's true.
Like we can talk about height, right?
Right.
Or we can say superiority,
Right.
but like there's no single noun that captures the essence of above itself.
Why do you think that is?
That's a great question. And I don't know if there's like a definitive answer,
Huh.
but to me it almost feels like the concept is too dynamic.
Yeah.
It's more about a relationship, like you were saying, than a concrete thing.
It needs that other thing to be above.
Exactly. Like it needs a point of reference to have meaning.
That makes sense. So it's an
Yeah.
adjective.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be an adverb too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like you have the plane soared above,
Right.
and then of course it's a preposition. The bird circled above the trees.
Absolutely.
So versatile.
So we've talked about all these different ways that above can function grammatically,
Mm-hmm.
but what about when it combines with other words?
Oh yeah, that's where things get really interesting. Like let's talk about collocations.
Collocations.
Yeah, these are words that just like naturally go together. They
Okay.
have this special relationship. So with above, you have things like above all, above average, above the clouds.
Ooh, I like above the
Right,
clouds.
yeah.
It sounds so like free. Exactly. And that's what's so cool about collocations. Like
Yeah.
they create these images in our minds.
Mhm.
Like with above the clouds, it's not just about physical height anymore.
Right.
It's metaphorical.
Yeah. It's about like rising above challenges, like reaching a higher state of being.
Exactly. It's about aspiration.
And that kind of connects to that word illustration we have,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's a perfect
Kind
example.
of a mountain peak.
Oh, no.
Just like towering above this vast landscape.
It's such a powerful image.
It is. It's kind of like it's lonely, but in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like solitary, but also strong.
Yeah. And it really does like visually capture that essence of above, that sense of perspective that it can evoke.
And that perspective is something we carry with us even when we're not on a mountaintop, right?
Right.
Like the idea of being above something, it influences how we view the world, how we interact with each other.
It's amazing to me how, like, we started with this one little
I
word,
know.
above,
Oh, right.
and we've ended up talking about, like, history and culture and even our own personal experiences.
It's proof that that language is just it's so much more than just words, right?
Absolutely.
It's how we make sense of the world around us.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Already?
I know, it goes by so fast.
Hmm.
But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Think about all the different ways above shapes your thinking,
Hmm.
not just in terms of physical space, but also in your relationships, your goals, your aspirations.
Yeah, that's a great takeaway.
And as you go about your day, just just notice how often you encounter this idea of above. You might be surprised by how much it influences your perspective.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of language. See ya.
See ya.